Right. Thanks, everyone. Today, the topic is rightfully so effective SEO hacks to bring leads to your business. Right. So, what is it that SEO? So, we will try to deep dive into it. Just a minute. Right. So, before I begin, let me have a short introduction about myself. I'm the former digital director of Standard Chartered Bank in Singapore, and we were basically handling all the bank products there is, right? And I was also involved in the digitalization efforts of the Catholic Church in Singapore, where we try to enable them to ensure that they are social media ready and that they have the necessary um, technology to go live, which is very essential in this pandemic. So this was done years ago. Prior experiences, I have experiences in customer loyalty program, basically customer relationship management and PDPA implementation. And today, as you know, a good website or a good business should look at all these kind of things, right? And I'm an avid digital marketing strategist, and I manage 360 digital campaigns for clients. And currently, I am a mentor for Lithium Academy for their professional diploma in digital marketing implementation, right? Just a minute. Right, so today's topic is effective SEO hacks to bring leads to your business. Do you even know where to begin? Right. So I'm sure the question on everyone's mind is, how come her website won and mine did not? I thought I do a little bit of a kind of like a joke to lighten things up, right? So basically, we'll look at very quickly at the components of a good website, which was kind of run over earlier, but I have also prepared kind of my version to further enhance of what that has been covered. So basically, you look at design and functionality. Design and functionality is all about branding, ease of use, the use of typography and colors. Consider the psychology of colors, and is all about the user experience. And today we have with us how to become a UX leader in a large organization, which Pranav will cover later. Next, we look at reliability and ease of use. This is in the area of hosting. Please use exabytes for your hosting. Your website must have SSL, easy to navigate, so exabytes will be able to handle your SSL. And you must consider your different user pathways and flow as well. Next, your website has to be fast, and you have to consider platform compatibility like device, browser compatibility, page, page load speed, and mobile optimization, of course. Next, you need to look at content relevance and management, easy to understand copywriting, simplify your jargons and lingo, and having a good content management system, right? And next, you look at the interaction and conversion, whether you have the relevant content, the use of videos, organized, easy to find content, and you look at conversion, you look at clear call to action, whether you have a CRM and a sales funnel, which Salia will cover on how to get your website aligned with your sales funnel. And we also have Shan, who will cover building the perfect service business website. Is very important that having a business, you must have the key components of what your service business require. And of course, I will cover effective SEO hacks to bring leads to your business. So very quickly, we'll look at how the pandemic influenced digital marketing, right? As you know, new normal. When will the normal actually return? Is it end of the year? Is it end of next year, or almost never, right? So businesses are forced to operate in this thing called the new normal and social distancing, which means that restaurants can operate at 50% capacity. Who are most affected? Restaurants, retail, airline, travel, hotels, and restaurants and businesses are closing. Thank you for your patronage. This restaurant has been permanently closed, right? So how did the pandemic influence digital marketing? Who was impacted? As what we say, the food outlets, the florists, the neighborhood hardware shop. Why were they impacted? Because they relied too much on the footfall traffic. They have no online order system in place. They have no means to deliver to their customer even, and they do not adapt fast enough. So they were perhaps caught off guard. Like there is, as what I say, there's no online ordering system, no e-commerce, and F&B rely too much on the likes of Grab, Deliveroo, and Food Panda, and whatever deliver systems that you have, food delivery systems that you have in Malaysia. But the question is, who has the customer information? It is all these platforms. So businesses have no way to remarket to them, right? They just rely on the platform. A lot of them are resistive to technology. Their excuse, I don't need a website. So is this all doom and gloom then, right? Here's the thing, right? If a lot of the myth is this, I do not have a website, then what do you rely? Flyers? What social media is for young kids, are you sure? Do you know the right way to target? Google My What? Is your business being found? If you are not listed on Google My Business, you have no way that your business will be found easily when people are trying to drive to your restaurant. YouTube is for watching movies. Are you sure? YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. Why are your businesses not on it yet? Right? So the digital marketing fitting into the new normal give us opportunities, new opportunities. Basically things like workflows, customer, CRM, integrated social media, showroom booking systems, and of course funnels play a very important part. Today we are talking about omni-channel marketing. How do you engage your audience from online to offline and offline to online? And basically you need to plan and systemize all of this. Now, it is very important that when we talk about SEO, we talk about the digital footprint and how does SEO will bring leads, right? So the concept of digital footprint is very simple. Today, if I have a new office, I'll tell you the directions to my new office. I'll tell you the address similarly, right? And similarly, we map back to the old tales that we grew up with, which is Hansel and Gretel. So Hansel and Gretel were afraid that they were lost in the forest, and what do? They peel off breadcrumbs so that to ensure that they can find their way back home. Ladies and gentlemen, today, if you have a new website, it is not only having a glitzy website, but is your website able to leave digital footprints for people to be able to find your business, right? So it all starts with the ability to know who you want to target. That is the most key important point of SEO. And this, we are talking about audience persona. For example, Samantha Holstead, she is what age, what kind of income? Is she a student? Is she just fresh out of work, or has she worked several years? The more you know about this customer profile, the more you will be able to target the scope of your messaging, to be able to research your target market better, to create a couple of personas that you can target, and to map out important characteristics that will map to, for example, Facebook behaviors that you can target. And then you present this profile. So how to get started? Let me show you a case study, right? Why is it important to know the preferences, know their demographics and where they hang out? And also we will know the colors and the lingo that they speak so that we can craft better and more relevant messaging to laser target to the right platform. Now we come to a case study. Imagine all of us own a satay company called the Halal Satay Company. And the Halal Satay Company wants to do a Facebook ads. So first, you need to identify what is your primary audience identification. By identifying your primary audience, you will be able to anchor your position in the market. For example, Malays or Muslims, halal related interests. They like satay, they like barbecue food, they like Muslim food and Muslim related culture. Now, assuming that they have already anchored this position, then they can look at secondary audiences, which is to identify and capture new markets like people who like Grab food, which is convenient food, people who like food that is delivered to them, right? People who like maybe Ota. Ota is similar to satay. And then you can look at food pairings, for example, satay with food or drink. So make satay pairings as popular as wine and cheese. For example, maybe satay with chicken wing or satay with ribena. I'm just giving an example here, right? Satay bonds people and satay as a party food or soul food because it's comforting, right? So this, we have gone through an idea of how you start your and identify your audience persona. Next, the question is what do you do before you start SEO? Firstly, you need to understand the demand-based and interest-based targeting. Is SEO alone enough as a marketing strategy? What does Google do to stay relevant? Are you backing up the wrong SEO tree? And next, we will go into getting into the mind of Google. And we will understand after this talk how exactly Google works and how exactly Google looks at your website, right? So things that you need to consider are demand-based versus interest-based targeting. For example, SEO and Google Ads are what we call demand-based targeting because people search for specific keywords. You make sure that you are there. If people are not searching for the keywords, you are not there. Whereas Facebook ads is they assume that just because the last year you bought a lot of dresses, maybe you have a lot of party to go to, they assume that you still like, women's fashion kind of stuff. It may not be accurate, right? That's the difference between demand-based targeting and interest-based targeting. Next, you need to understand keywords with buying intent or strong commercial intent. For example, property agent Singapore, property Singapore. That is the worst keyword to target. New launch Singapore is the worst keyword to target. You are better off targeting executive condo near a particular street name, like executive condo near Shah Alam or something, or Sengkang East Way, right? SEO cannot be compartmentalized. You cannot see SEO as itself only. SEO must be part of a bigger marketing initiative, whether it's online or offline. SEO cannot be done blindly because you need to meet your business objectives. You need to have your sales funnel. You need to have your customer journey, and you need systems in place. And also you need to comply to Personal Data Protection Act, right? And one of the concepts of SEO is this thing called EAT. EAT means expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. Is your website able to demonstrate the knowledge and expertise that you or your business possess, right? And are you able to be a trusted authority over time, be a leader in the market? And do you have quality content with quality links, right? And next, of course, we look at your website needs to be secure. You need to have device compatibility, and you need to have that overall page experience, which means that fast, secure, easy to use, low bounce rate, devices, operating system, and browser compatibility. Right, so now we come to the very interesting part, which we will deep dive into SEO right now. So the question is, which came first, the Yahoo or the Google? Yahoo was born in 1994. Google was born in 1998. Today, who is the dominant force? It is Google. Why is Google the dominant force? We will explore this. So Google decided at the get-go in 1998 to provide more relevant information in the search queries. And in the early days, they had this indication where the more links a site links to it, the better the site has in terms of authority. Today is no longer true. Later, we will see how does Google continue their search to be the relevant search engine of today, right? Google provide a more relevant search result as compared to any other search engines at that point in time. And Google chose to be radical. For example, in the results page, when you click on the result, Google actually take you to the website directly. Remember, at this point in time, Yahoo was monetizing because all traffic, they still drive back to their own site so that they can show banner ads. But at this point in time, Google chose to be revolutionary. Nobody done that. No Google ads was invented at that point in time, but Google decided to take that risk. And that risk certainly paid off. Next, Google bought technologies to remain on top of the game. Between the period of 2010 to 2011, more than one company per week, Google bought that. And basically, Google bought technologies to form Google Photos, Google bought YouTube, Google bought technologies to form AdSense and AdWords, Google Maps, and Google Analytics. And today, if you are not on Google Photos, you are not on YouTube, then you are missing a lot. And you're not on Google Maps, you're missing a lot, right? So, which we will cover later. Next, Google made algorithm updates. Just because at that point in time, people decided to cheat the system, Google made the following algorithm updates. Google Panda, February 2011. Panda actually addresses the on-page content. That means the content that is on your page, Google will look at it, whether you repeat keywords a lot of time and it's does it make sense when the user read. So Google use a lot of artificial intelligence, and Google will be able to know that if you are keyword stuffing or putting keywords too many times, that is keyword stuffing. So that's, in a gist, is Google Panda. Google Penguin looks at the off-page penalty because people are going crazy getting links, right? So Google Penguin makes sure that your links is relevant to your business. For example, your links, general directory sites are okay, but if your links are in medical line, but suddenly you've got some engineering directory listing to you, then Google Penguin will put a filter. That means that backlink is not so important in the calculation of ranking, right? Next, we look at Google Pigeon. Google Pigeon essentially looks at the local search. Today, I'm in Singapore. I say Malay food, right? Malay food near me or something like that. So previously, Google will show even a Malay food that is in Malaysia, but I'm in Singapore, that kind of thing. So Google Pigeon address this to make sure that you are in Singapore, you search Malay food, you get all the restaurants that are in Singapore so that you can come and visit them. Next, we look at Hummingbird and RankBrain. Hummingbird and RankBrain are the latest technology, 2013 to 2015. Hummingbird tries to understand more on the search intent. For example, if you key in these keywords, are you generally browsing, or do you have intention to buy? And based on that, Hummingbird will actually serve the right website to you. And RankBrain looks at never handled before search. For example, today you are a property agent and you are launching a new property. The market doesn't know this property name yet. So RankBrain will take over and make sense of it first, right? So as you can see, why are Google buying technology and why are Google making algorithm changes? Is because the moment Google loses to be relevant, Yahoo will take over. And that's why Google is able to be relevant today, right?
Hey, Eugene.
Yeah.
I've been instructed by the team to let you know that you have roughly another 2 to 3 minutes.
Okay, right.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
No problem. So are you bucking the wrong SEO tree? Basically, you must know that if you are market to everyone, you do not market to anyone at all. So let's go down. SEO keyword process is what we said, that the keywords are basically you need to know what are the buying keywords, right? And getting into the mind of Google, basically when Google step into your website, they will actually look at whether your website is topical, it has authority, it is contextual in nature, and it has the relevancy, right? And a good website should have a good hosting, internal on-page factors that you are basically optimizing, and off-page factors, and you need tracking and statistics, right? And next we come to the on page. So basically, when you're optimizing content for on page, you make sure that your keywords, you do not repeat too many times. You have the keywords in the title. You make sure you name your images and all that. So let's look at a live example. So basically, this is an example of what I have ranked for my client, which is wedding ice sculpture. And basically, as you can see, looking at the technology that Google has bought, um, I have listed in Google My Business, which will appear in Google Maps. I have listed on YouTube here, which the YouTube video actually appears. And basically, I have listed images as well for the client. So basically, the images has the company branding, right? And there's also basically organic listing here, right? So if SEO is done right, basically 16 million results, you are able to rank on uh, Google page one. So let me just cover just a few slides. I'm going to skip some of my slides, right? Just hold on. Okay, so immediate tips on how you can improve your SEO is this: basically your domain and hosting. You try to host in the same country that your business has. Make sure you have keyword in domain for competitive niches is important. You need to have a SSL. Your website, there's a balance between beautiful images and load speed. Make sure it's loading well. Mobile optimization, make sure, right? Content optimization, always write with the readers in mind. Make sure that your content is topical and contextual as well. List your business in Google My Business, right? And video optimization, make sure that you upload your video on YouTube. And basically, social media and images, make sure that you study where your client is at, and basically have the presence there, especially on Google Photos as well, right? Next, we look at some of the emerging trends that you need to look at, not pertaining to SEO: instant messaging, bots, go live technology, and being able to analyze your data, right? Your prospect is out there. Make sure you know how to follow them in the rest of the social media as well, right? If not, you become irritating like an old friend. They decide to call each other. So the friend thought that, oh, you want to have coffee, but you want to kind of sell insurance, right? Yeah. So please don't overdo it. Okay, I'm done with my talk. Unfortunately, I need to rush through. So sorry about that, right? And basically, this is my free gift to you. You can join my community to learn more about internet marketing.
All right, thanks, Eugene. And in fact, I think we should also be apologizing. I'm sorry that we didn't have enough time to accommodate the whole presentation. Okay. But with that being said, how do we get in touch with you? So for everyone who's like watching in Zoom right now on Facebook, how do we get in touch with you? If you could just leave your credentials in the chat box, or you could display them on screen, that'd be great.
Okay. So one of the things that you can get in touch with me is you can join my Telegram group, which is t.me/SEO for B. That means SEO for business, right? SEO for B, right? Yeah. Or you can connect me in LinkedIn. That is linkedin.com/IN/I am SEO King, right? Yeah. I'll type it in the chat.
I love, yeah, absolutely. I love how that's your branding. I absolutely love it. Eugene, thank you so much for being a part of the Singapore Website Awards. And I think we had a very good chat just now. I am pleased to meet you, and I hope to see you again in the future. Thank you so much. And to everyone else who's watching, let's give him a virtual round of applause. Eugene,
Thank
you have
you.
a great day, and feel free to stay on with us.
Yep.
Okay, thanks, Eugene. Bye.
Thanks.
Exabytes. Grow your business online.